Hello again, this is Dr. Ramon, and this is the third installment of the presentation on what possible program you could use for recording your presentation for science fair. And I'll also be presenting to you the third template, which is the template that you use normally for math and computer science projects. Okay, so uh, to start off, right now, what I'm using to record this video is MS Teams. So what I did was just to turn on my MS Teams, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and share my screen so that you can be able to see exactly what I'm showing you right now. So right now I'm showing you my MS Teams session, okay? And there's a couple of icons there, and some of uh, some of the icons on top are the ones that you want to be looking into. One of the things that are relevant here would be this ellipsis, because if you click on that, that's where you can see the start recording and the stop recording button. Right now it's stop recording because I'm currently recording. Okay, I already started it. Okay, now this other icon here, this one is what I'm using to share my screen. So normally this would be a box with an up arrow. So when you click on it, then it's going to give you options here at the bottom that would allow you to be able to share the desktop or a window or a PowerPoint presentation or anything that's you can share. Now, I'm going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation, but I did share my desktop so that I can shift from one program to another. Like right now, I'm in MS Teams. I'm going to shift to PowerPoint in a minute to do the presentation. So this is how you use MS Teams to record your presentation. Okay, so now I'm going to shift gears and do a presentation on a PowerPoint presentation using math uh, or presenting to you the math and science and computer science projects. Okay, so if you notice, the way this works is I don't think you're gonna see a window in window or a picture in picture of my presentation. I haven't exactly tried that yet, but I'll have to see after the recording if actually it recorded my face as I was presenting this PowerPoint. But at any rate, let me go ahead and continue my presentation. Okay, so this is the template for a math and or computer science project. Now, it starts with a title page that is exactly the same in terms of content to the other two templates, the science and the engineering project templates. So you still have to have your Scienteer project ID, project title, the proponents' names. If you're a group, again, you list down all the names here, and then of course your school, city, state, and country. The next slide is where you do the introduction. And this is where you state your research problem. Now, it's obviously different from an engineering project, and it can be different from a science project in the sense that if you're doing a math project, sometimes you're not necessarily trying to address a question that requires a hypothesis. Instead, sometimes the problem is really trying to prove a statement, okay, or a mathematical concept, for example, or a mathematical relationship. If it's a computer science problem or research, normally you would be trying to answer a problem by designing a program, for example. Okay, so it's kind of different from an engineering project in the sense that you're not necessarily building something, but you're building a program. You're programming a software program that would be able to try to address a particular problem. The problem that you're trying to address is what you're going to state here in the introduction. Okay? Um, Present your relevant literature background research and what the relevance of your research is. This is where you try to establish that. Okay? Now, the second slide after the introduction is where you lay the foundation for the framework of your study. If it's a math problem or a math type of question that you're trying to address, you have to define all of your variables. What are the limitations of what you're going to consider, if there are any? What are the parameters? If it's a computer science problem and you're trying to program something, you might want to present here your flow chart, or you might want to present here your um, variables that you're going to be using. Okay, how are you going to design your program? Okay, just an overview. Do not give a line by line presentation of the whole program. Just give an overview. A flow chart will be perfect here. Again, try to be visual, not wordy. Now, once you've framed your research, then you do your research, and then you implement it, and then you get your results. Now, in a math or a computer science project, your results are really not called results; they're called findings. What did you find out? Okay, and this is where you present those. Basically, this is your data page, okay, and data and results page, but you're gonna label it as findings. What did you find out about your research? And this is where you establish rigorous theories. If it's a math problem or if it's a computer science problem, this is where you present your the results of the run of your program. If you ran your program, you implemented it, what was the results, what was the data spewed out. This is where you're going to start interpreting those. Okay, and then this is where you're going to make your conclusion, your connections rather. Once you've established your proof for a math problem, or you've established the effectiveness of your program, then you state your conclusions. Okay, and again, because a conclusion is supposed to answer the research question, you're not necessarily answering a hypothesis, you're not answering an engineering problem, you're simply answering a research question. So state whether you've answered it, or are there modifications that needs to be done? What are the limitations of what your findings are? In terms of how they address the research question, and how can you expand it, how can you address some flaws if there are any, and what are the applications potentially of your mathematical discovery, or uh, applications of your computer program. Okay, and of course the last slide is always to cite your references. Again, no more than one slide, only cite the relevant references, and it has to be in MLA or APA format. Okay, so those are the three templates that you can choose from. I would end by saying that you're not limited, by the way, to this PowerPoint. You can choose your own PowerPoint design. I'm just using this one to illustrate how to use it in using PowerPoint. But you can place your own flavor for the PowerPoint design. Just make sure that all the relevant information is in there, depending on the project that you're doing. And if you want to add some more, then you can do so. Always pay attention to the time limit, because you do not have unlimited time in doing your presentation. So make sure that you rehearse your presentation so that you're very, very efficient. And if you're doing it as a team, make sure that everyone has ample opportunity to speak and do a presentation, part of the presentation. So with that said, good luck in your presentations.